Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Remember what we were discussing in the last class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What
About
we have
program.
discussed in the last.
About program.
SAS naming rules.
Program rule.
What is SAS program? I told you SAS program nothing but
Group of statements.
group of statement. Then what is your statement?
Order to do some work or instructions to do.
Instruction or order to do some work. I told you what is in a statement? Each statement
Each statement
must end with
semicolon.
semicolon. I told you we can write one string,
Multiple lines.
multiple lines. And we can also write multiple statements
into one line.
one line. And then I told you SAS program
The case sensitive is not a
Can write one line.
not case sensitive,
either case sensitive.
but the data is
Case sensitive.
Data must be sensitive.
case sensitive. Then I told you in SAS we have two programming steps. One is the data step.
Yep.
I told you we use the data step for what reason?
Data access and data management.
We use the data step for data access
And data
And
management.
data
and the
management.
data management. Yeah. I told you we use the proc step for
Data analysis and data
data
presentation.
analysis and data reporting. Data analysis and data reporting. And when it's in a data step or proc step, you must end the program with
Run statement.
Statement.
statement, or sometimes we
Fits.
end the program with quit statement. And I told you when you're writing a SAS program, you can find 6 different types of colors. If you see anything in the dark blue color, what you call it as a name?
Keywords.
You go to dark blue color is nothing but a keyboard. Okay, and then I told you if you have anything in the light blue color, what you call it as a name?
Statements.
We call it as a
Statements.
statement. If you see anything black color, and what you call it as a name? Those are called
Variables.
SAS
SAS name.
names.
Data or
SAS means
variables.
nothing but a very good data set name or
variables.
variable names. Cool? Okay. And then if you say anything, background yellow color, what does it mean?
Instant data.
Instant data or raw
Raw
data.
data. Instant data, raw data.
And if you see anything purple color, what's the purple color?
Quoted
Good.
string.
That is in a quoted string. If you keep anything within the
Location
quotations,
of the
that will appear purple in color.
Purple color.
And if you see anything green color, and what is that?
comment.
Tell me how many ways you can write the comments?
2 ways.
Two ways.
What are the 2 ways?
Control plus forward slash.
Forward slash. And what is the second one?
Star and semicolon.
Control shift.
Asterisk.
Asterisk symbol. Right,
End with
whatever the
semicolon.
text you want to have, write the text, and finally you must end with.
Semicolon.
And what is the advantage with this method?
Notes.
And if you want to uncomment it, what we should do?
Purpose of the program in future.
How to uncomment it?
Plus
Control shift
Control
forward
shift
slash.
forward slash. Control shift forward slash. And I told you the most important thing is the black color. What you can see in the black color? SAS names. What are the rules that we have to write the SAS name? Name should be less than or equal to
32 characters.
not equal to 32.
less than or equal to 32 characters. That means you can have anything between 1 to 32 characters. The second rule is
You should not
you start with
Or underscore.
alphabet or underscore. So we should start with alphabet or underscore. And what is the third rule? Can I have a
Can
number,
but should
but
not start with a number.
but it should not start with a number. Not, not with.
No step.
What is the final rule? No special
No
characters
special characters
except
except underscore.
underscore. I told you, these are the rules we should follow whenever you're writing a data set name or variable. This is what we have discussed in the last class, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in today's class, I want to start with creating a data set when we have data in a text file. In the SAS folder, here I have a SAS folder. In the SAS folder, I have SAS data folder. In the SAS data folder, I have demo1 text file. I want to create a data set. Okay. Now, if we have a data in a text file, how we should start our program? We should start our program with the keyword of data. Data, data set name. Okay. I want to have a data set name demo, semicolon.
In file,
And you should write in file, and you should write
Paste
the
the
path
location.
of the text file. You should get the path of the text file. Shift, right click,
click
copy
copy
as path, go to the program, and paste the path. Semicolon. Now you should write the input. You should write the variable names in the order of the data. First of all, see the data. MPID, name, age, sex,
name, age,
salary.
gender, salary, location.
Now I want to write the variable names. Now I'm writing MPID, then name.
Name
So it
dollar,
contains character data, dollar symbol, age, next character data, dollar symbol,
dollar symbol, salary,
then the salary, and location, character data,
location, dollar
dollar
symbol,
symbol, colon. Then
semicolon,
you should write the run symbol.
run, semicolon.
I'm selecting the program. I'm executing this program. Now, if I go to libraries, if I go to work library, in the work library, I have a data set called demo. And this data set contains 6 variables and 23 observations. Clear this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, on my desktop, again I have a SAS folder. In the SAS folder, I have SAS data folder. In that, I have Excel folder. In the Excel folder, I have an Excel sheet called cost. Okay. Now, I want to import this. I want to import this one. This is the Excel sheet I want to import. Okay. Now, can you tell me if I import this Excel sheet, how many variables I am going to have in the data set? You know, this is going to come as a one variable. This will come as a second variable, third, fourth, fifth. So in that way, we have up to, that means these will come as a 15 variables. And how many observations I'm going to get? Here we have information in the 429 rows. Now tell me how many observations I will get?
429.
428. Because you know that the first row will go as a
Variables.
variable name. The first row will come as a variable name. So the data will come from the second row. So that means you are going to have 428 observations. Okay. Now I want to write a program to import this Excel sheet. Now tell me how to write the program.
Proc import, sir.
Good. Now you should write a program like this one. I am writing proc import
What
Data line.
data file is equal to,
Equals to.
you should write the path of that Excel sheet. You know how to get the path of the Excel sheet?
Copy.
Hold shift,
Right click,
copy
copy
as
as path,
Path.
go to the program, and paste the path.
out
I told you,
equal to
you can write one statement in multiple lines. So I'm writing the same statement in multiple lines.
is equal
out equal to path.
I'm writing out is equal to.
to
Can I write the demo?
Table name.
notes.
You should write any name. No, it's up to you. There is no rule that you should write only cost. You can any data set name. I want to have a data set name demo.
But
DBMS equal to
already
We
demo.
have the
We'll see that one. DBMS is equal to
XLS.
XLS.
XLS because the extension that we have in XLS. Now I'm writing DBMS is equal to XL.
Semicolon.
Then what we should do? Semicolon,
Run.
Run.
Semicolon.
run semicolon.
Select
No.
program and execute program.
In this program, out is equal to, I have written demo.
Demo.
But in my work library, I have already a data set called demo.
Yes.
What we have in this demo data set? Any idea?
That one is text file.
That is a text file. It is
The
Excel.
demo data set, we have 6 variables. And how many observations we have?
23 observations.
23 observations.
23.
Say for example, if I execute this program, what will happen now? If the program successfully got executed, you know, how many variables, how many columns that we have in the cost Excel sheet?
15.
14.
15.
15 columns. And how many rows we have there? 428.
248.
428.
Then 428 will come as an observation, sir, and 15 columns will come as a 15 variable. When this program got successfully executed. If this program got successfully executed, so the data which is present in the demo should be overwrite by 15 variables and 428 observations, isn't it? Because this name is demo, and I'm also writing again out is equal to demo. So that means I'm writing the same data set name which is already existing in the library. Okay, now see, I'm selecting this program. Now I'm executing this program. Now I'm trying to open the demo data set. But can you tell me what data we have in this?
Old data set. Text file data.
Text file data, sir.
Text file data.
Yes, so we have only world data, which means 23 observations and 6 variables.
6 variables.
So that means this program is not overwriting the world data. So I want to check what happened. Then I'll go to log window. Please try to understand what is the information that we have in the log. Can you see? Can you read this one? Import,
Cancelled.
cancelled, output data set, work.demo already exists. Specify replace option to overwrite it. You know what it is saying? Input has been cancelled. Why it has been cancelled? Because output data set work.demo is already existing. So that means in the work library, we have a data set called demo already. So because we have already a data set called demo, now this procedure has been cancelled. So that means, remember one thing, when you're writing a proc import procedure, if you specify a data set name, if it is already existing a data set with the same name, now by default, the proc import procedure will be get cancelled. Understand? So in the proc import procedure, when you're writing a data set name, if you have already a data set with the same name, what will happen? Now the proc import procedure will be get cancelled. Now if you go to log window, we have one more suggestion. Can you see what is the suggestion that we have?
It's a replace option.
Specify a replace option to overwrite it. So that means if you want to overwrite the old data which is present in the demo with the new data which I'm getting from this Excel sheet, it is suggesting please specify replace option. Now, where we need to specify, we have written that DBMS is equal to XLS, and generally we keep a semicolon after that. So before keeping the semicolon, now I'm going to specify an option called replace. Understand this one? Now, after writing the replace option, now see, I'm going to select this program one more time. I'm executing this program again one more time. After executing, now I'm trying to open the demo data set. Now, can you see what data we have? Do we have the old data or the new data?
New data, sir.
New
Excel data.
Data
New
which is
data.
present in the Excel sheet. So, when you're writing a proc import, if you want to overwrite the old data with the new data, what is the option you should specify now?
DBMS.
You should specify replace option.
Replace.
The option.
Understand this one? Do you understand why we read the replace option?
Yes, sir.
So replace option will replace when we have a same data set name. So the proc import with procedure will replace the old data with the new data. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to import a CSV file. Here on my desktop, I have a CSV folder. In the CSV folder, I have a CSV file called, say for example, heart. Okay, I want to import this one. What is the full form of CSV?
Comma separated
Comma
values.
separated value.
Comma separated values file. Very good. We can import a CSV file. We can open a CSV file in Excel sheet, or you can also open a CSV file in the notepad also. So for example, if I try to open on my desktop, I have a SAS folder. In the SAS folder, we have SAS data folder. In the SAS data folder, we have CSV folder. For some reason, I will do one thing. Now I'm going to open the CSV file, with the notepad. When I open that in the notepad, can you see how the values are separating? The values are separating with the comma. That's why this is called a comma separated values file. Okay, you can open the same CSV file in Excel sheet also. Okay, since we can open in, we can do it in both. That is okay. Now I want to import this CSV file called heart. First of all, I'm going to get the path, shift right click. Then I'm going to click on copy as path. Now, how to write a program to import a CSV file? Proc import
Data file import.
data file is equal to path of the CSV file. Can you know what is the extension we have for CSV file?
Out export.
Or CSV.
Out.
Then out is equal to, I want to have a data set name heart. Then DBMS is equal to CSV.
CSV.
If you have already hard data set, if you want to replace the old data with the new data, you should hit the replace option. Then what we should do? You should write the, here replace is not mandatory. If we have already hard data set, if you want to overwrite the old data with the new data, you need to mention the replace option. Now, if you do not have a hard data set, what will happen? Nothing will happen. It will create a new data set hard. If you have already hard, now the new data will overwrite the old data. Now I'm selecting the program. I'm executing the program. But can you see? We have a data set called hard. Understand this one?
Yes, sir.
This is how we import a CSV file. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very rarely, sometimes, we will get the data in access file. This is called access folder. In the access folder, I have an access file. In this access file, we have data. Generally, how the data will be get stored in Excel sheet? The data will be stored in like sheets, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, like that. But in MS Access file, the data will be stored in table. Can you see on the left side here we have a table. So now here we have in this file 3 tables. We have flags, heart, and iris. If I click on the flags, now the table will be get open. So this is how the data will be stored in MS Access file. How to import a table from MS Access file? Say for example, now I want to import this flags table. Would you able to understand what I'm saying? I want to import this flags table. How to import this flags table? Now I will write a program for this one. Now I'll go to the program. Now we should write a processor called proc input. For Excel sheet and CSV file, what we are writing after proc import?
Data file.
Right? But now we should not write data file. Now we should write the table that you want to import. Table is equal to. Tell me which table you want to import. I want to import a table called flags.
Class.
Now we should write space out is equal to what is the data set name you want to have in the work library. I want to have my data set name, say for example, flags 1. You can take any name, it's up to you. Then you should write DBMS is equal to what is the database management system for MS Access files. The database management system is
Access.
Then if we have already flags 1 data set in the work library, if you want to replace that old data with the new data, what is the option you should write? You should write the replace. Now, this is end of the first statement. We should keep a semicolon. So far, I told the SAS system what is the table you want to import, but I didn't tell from where you need to import. That means we haven't specified the length of the file. What is the path of the file? Now to specify the path of the file or location, now we are going to write a statement called database is equal to. Now we should write the path of that file. Can you see this is the help file? How to get the path? What is the shortcut we have for the path?
Shift plus
Shift.
Right click.
Right click.
Copy path.
Now copy as path. Now go to the program and paste the path. This is the path of MS Access file. But can you see, if you clearly observe this one, we have written the DBMS as access. But can you see what is the extension that we have? MDB. MDB means master database. Okay. So far for Excel sheet and CSV file, both DBMS and extension same. But here DBMS is different from the extension. So this is the end of the statement. We should write a semicolon. Now this is the end of the program. We should write run statement, run semicolon. Now select the program and execute the program. Now in a minute, we are going to have a data set called flags1. This is how we have the data in the flags1 data. Understand this one? This is how we import data if we have a data in MS Access file. Clear?
Sir, why we have to mention it as replace the...
Replace is not mandatory. If you have already flags1, if you want to override that with the new data set, as a precautionary measurement, I am writing the replace option.
Okay.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, again, in the help access file, I have a table called iris. I want to import this as an iris only. Can you help me to write the program?
Yes, sir.
Tell me how to write the program.
Proc import.
Proc import, very good.
Table
Table is equal
Table
to iris.
is equal to This is the table I want to import. Very good.
DBMS
Out
is
is
equal to
equal to-
access.
Out is equals to iris.
Out is
Iris
equal to
one.
data set name. Yes, I want to have maybe iris1. Okay.
DBMS equal to
Yes, very good.
semicolon
Colon.
database
Database is equal to
path of the file,
Path and paste.
path of that database.
then
Semicolon.
semicolon and run.
Run semicolon. Here you no need to write replace. That is not mandatory. If you have already iris1 data set in the work library, if you want to overwrite it, then only you should require replace option. Understand? Now I'm selecting the program. I'm executing this program. Now, can you see in the work library, now I have a data set called iris. Understand this one?
Yes, sir.
This is how we write a program when we have a data in MS Access file. Now tell me, I have a data set called demo. From this demo, I want to create a new data set, demo1. I have already existing data set called demo. From the demo, I want to create a demo1. Tell me the program.
Data.
Data,
Demo one.
demo1,
Set
semicolon,
Set demo.
set demo,
Run
Semicolon.
set.
Run semicolon.
Now select the program, execute the program. Now we have demo1 data set, which will have the same information what we have in the demo data. Clear? Is this clear? Now,
Yes, sir.
I have few lines of data directly within this as 101, ABC 20, 102, DEF 27, 103, KLM 23, 104, XYZ 28. I told you, if you take data directly within the SAS, we call it as an in-stream data.
Raw data.
In-stream data, or also call it as an
Raw data.
Now, when we have in-stream data or raw data, how to create a data set? Data set name, whatever the data set name you want to have, we can write it semicolon.
In file.
File. Very good. Data lines. Semicolon.
Input.
You should input. You should the variable name ID. Name. Character variable dollar symbol. Is semicolon. Then you should write data lines. Now, if I select the program, execute the program, so can you see we have DS1 data set. And it has got 3 variables and 4 observables. Understand this one? Now, we know how to create data set in 6 different methods. You know how to create a data set from text file. You know how to create a data set from Excel sheet. You know how to create a data set from CSV file. And you know how to create a data set from MS Access file. And you know how to create a data set from existing data set. And you know how to create a data set from
In-stream
data. Now you can write some kind of program. Now we'll go to introductory part. What is SAS? Who developed this SAS? Who discovered? Who designed it? When they did? For what purpose they have done this thing? Okay. Now, before 1968, there was no SAS at all. No SAS at all before 1968. In 1968, there was an organization called United States of Department of Agriculture, USDA, United States of Department of Agriculture. This USDA department, used to get so much of data from their farmers. It is an agricultural organization, so they used to get the data from the farmers, like what is the plant they have been planted, what type of crop, and how much yield they got, and how much of fertilizers they used, how much of pesticides they used, what is the profit they got, and how much of area they have been planted this crop. So they used to get so much of data from the farmer. So since they used to get so much of data, what they decided, they want to analyze this data so that based on the analysis, if they get any report, so based on the report, they want to help their farmers by giving some suggestion. So they want to analyze that agricultural data. But by that time, there was no such tool to analyze the data. Because so much of data, if you want to analyze, you need to have a software tool. There was no such tool by the time. Then what they decided, now they approached North Carolina State University. North Carolina is a state in USA, so they approached North Carolina State University. And in the North Carolina State University, there is a department called Department of Statistics. Department of Statistics. In this Department of Statistics, there are two professors. There are two professors. They are Jim Barr and Jim Goodnight. Jim Barr and Jim Goodnight. These two are the professors at the Department of Statistics in North Carolina State University. So they approached these two professors. Now these two professors, they started researching and they started developing analysis tool. By the same time, there was another organization called National Institute of Health Management. Even that NIH also wants to have a tool to analyze healthcare data. Because they used to get so much of healthcare data from patients, hospitals, they want to analyze the data. So this organization also approached the same Jim Barr and Jim Goodnight. At the same time, 8 other universities also coming together, and they created a consortium. And they started developing the tool. But by 1972, they did some kind of research. But with this research, NIH was not so happy. Because it was not so happy, they stopped giving any funds to the research. Because they thought, anyway, they are developing a tool. This tool might help only agricultural data analysis. So why should I pay all this money? And they stopped giving the funding. And eventually, even the United States Department of Agriculture was not so happy with this university, North Carolina State University, and even they stopped giving the funding. So because of all this, the research came to a standstill, and because of all these developments, the Jim Barr and Jim Goodnight was not so happy. So what they did, they resigned their university professorship and they started their own research. And North Carolina capital is Raleigh. And in the same city, that just adjacent to the university building, besides the building, they have taken one building for rent and they started developing their own tool. Initially, they used to get the small amount of the data from the small pharma companies and from the small banking companies. And they used to get the data from these banking and pharma companies. By using the data, they did the research. And finally, by 1976, they devised a tool and they named it as a statistical analysis and software. Initially, they named it as a statistical analysis software, but later on, SAS is not a single tool. The SAS is in a group of multiple tools. Since it is in a group of multiple tools, so some people also call it as a SAS is nothing but statistical analysis system. So you can call it as a statistical analysis software, or you can also call it as a statistical analysis system. And by the way, how we need to pronounce it, you have to pronounce as a SAS. If it is in a SAP, you should pronounce it as an only SAP. You should not call it as a SAP. In the same way, you should not call it as an SAS as an SAS. You should call it as a SAS. That is how SAS has been discovered and designed and started. In the year 2000, everybody got scared and was in dilemma that all the programming languages will not work because 2000 is going to have what you call all zeros, and no programming language will work. But like any other tool, SAS also eventually successfully crossed that whatever that stigma that people got. And by 2010, SAS has become one of the top 5 companies in the world. Every year, there is a magazine called Fortune. Fortune magazine print like top 200 companies in the world. In the top 200 companies in 2010, SAS has become top 5 companies. Now, from the 2010 onwards, every year, SAS has been one of the company in top 25. Every year from 2010 onwards. In 2014, up to 2014, SAS is a programming tool or analysis tool, or it is a statistical analysis system or a software. But in 2014, SAS has become a company. Understand? SAS has become a company. So now if somebody asked you, what is SAS? If somebody asked you, you can say SAS is a technology and it's a company both. Both is a technology, it's a tool and a company also. The company name itself is SAS. So now company name has become a SAS, and now it has a tagline. The tagline that we are going to have is the power to know. Nowadays each and every company, each and every movie is going to have some kind of taglines. No? In the same way, SAS also got as a tagline, and the tagline is the power to know. Now, in 2014, SAS has become a company of 7,000 employees. Now, SAS has become a company of 30,000 employees, 30K. In SAS company itself, 30,000 employees works worldwide, but by using SAS, millions of employees using SAS. Understand this one? That is how SAS has been evolved. And this is a little bit history of SAS. And now, still SAS is located in the North Carolina State University, and in the capital Raleigh. In the capital Raleigh, there is a suburb called Cary. In the Cary, it is located. Up to last year, Jim Goodnight was the CEO. Now he has been resided from that company, and some other person now is become like CEO of the company. In India, we have SAS branch in Pune. We call it as a SAS Pune. So in India, we have a SAS branch in Pune. Understand this one? And this is a little bit of a history of SAS. Now, okay, where we use SAS? We use SAS in 21 different types of domain. We are learning, most of you people are learning because you want to use SAS in the clinical research. Because FDA guidance is saying you should use only SAS in the clinical research for the drug approval process. And some of you also want to learn SAS because if you want to do banking data analysis, and some of you might want to use SAS in finance industry. Understand this one? And some people wants to use SAS in insurance sector. And in Hyderabad, we have a company called UHG. People used to call it UHG. Now it has become an Optum. So in Optum, they use SAS for insurance data analysis. They use SAS for insurance. Particularly, they use SAS for healthcare insurance or health insurance data. Nowadays, health insurance become very popular. People used to have only normal insurance, but nowadays even people are having a health insurance. Okay, so to analyze the health insurance data, whenever the people claim for health insurance, we need to analyze the data. For that also, we use SAS, and we use SAS in healthcare industry. We use SAS in education sector. We use SAS in manufacturing tech sector. We use SAS in automotive engineering. We use SAS in education government sector, and we use SAS in oil and natural gas. And we use SAS in telecommunications. Very often we use telecom sector, and we use SAS in hospitality and the tourism sector. There are around 21 different domains where we use SAS. Say for example, in the telecom industry, Jio use SAS, Airtel use SAS, and nowadays in the e-commerce industry, this Amazon use SAS, Flipkart use SAS, and the food e-commerce, say for example, Swiggy use SAS, and Zomato use SAS. Understand? And all the major banking industries, say for example, Kotak Mahindra, Axis Bank, ICICI, HDFC, HSBC, all these banks use SAS for the data analysis. And not only that one, all the finance sectors like JP Morgan, PricewaterhouseCoopers, IBM, Accenture, TCS, all these companies also use SAS for the data analysis. Understand this one? Could you able to follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Now in this sector, now why we use SAS? Why we are using? The major purpose of the SAS is data analysis. Okay, once we have done the data analysis, now what is going to happen? Yes, we are going to get analysis report, and once you have the analysis report, then what will happen now? You can take a decision which is related to your business. Now, what are the decisions that you can take? How is this going to get help? So these decisions is going to help you for the risk management. If you want to start any new business, if you want to invest some money in any business, first of all, you need to understand what is going to happen if I invest money in this fund. You need to do some research in the market, and we need to collect the data. Not only collect the data, we need to analyze the data, and based on the analysis, we can understand. So for example, we have a 10 crores, and if you want to do some business, if you want to put up a nice restaurant, in say for example, Hyderabad, Jubilee Hills or somewhere, are you going to directly go there and put all your 10 crores into the business? No. You will do a lot of research on that one. What are the nice restaurants we have in that area? Why they are so successful? Why some of the restaurants, why they have been failed? What was the reason? If you want to put a business there, if you want to put a restaurant there, what you want to do something special there so that you can get the profits to attract the customer. So you are going to do a lot of market research. Not only do research, you will do a lot of analysis on that. And based on the analysis, you are going to generate a report, and we call it as a SWOT analysis, isn't it? Anybody knows about what you mean by SWOT analysis? Success,
Yes, sir.
Warnings. What do you mean by SWOT analysis?
Strength, weakness, opportunities.
Opportunities and threats.
Yeah.
If you want to do any business, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities that we have? And what are the threats or competition that we have? Not only in business, if you want to take any decision in life, you can do this SWOT analysis. What are our strengths? And what are our weaknesses? And what are the opportunities that we have? And what are the threats or competitions that we have in that domain, in that field? If you want to do the SWOT analysis, you should collect the data, you should analyze the data. Based on that only, we can take a decision. Not only that one, if you want to do the fraud management, so if you want to find who is not paying the money, who is not paying the EMIs, who has got overdues, who is skipping that, like, that their loans and all. If you want to do the such kind of fraud management, nowadays SaaS is using in the banking domain for money laundering. You know about what you mean by money laundering nowadays? People do all the Hawala things, like, they want to convert their black money into white. First of all, they will send the money to foreign countries. And then from the foreign countries, again, they will invest the money in the Indian companies. So they will convert the black money into white money. So that is called money laundering. Now in SaaS, we have a new branch to identify the money laundering. We call it as an ML, money laundering analysis, MLA. And by doing the financial data analysis, you will get the knowledge, you will get the intelligence. You'll become more aware of that, what we can do, what we should not do, how we should invest, what is the best step that you can take. So we are going to have, financial intelligence. And not only that one, once you have got that knowledge, what you can do, you can help the customers to take a wise decision. That means automatically what you are going to have now, we are going to have, customer intelligence. And this financial intelligence and the customer intelligence, and we as Indians lack this one. That's why some people, even though they earn so much of money, they leak the money because they don't know how to manage it. But by using such kind of tools, we can get the financial intelligence and the customer intelligence. And we also going to have business intelligence. Understand this one? And the most important thing is we can predict the future. So those are called, we can do the future predictions. So what is going to happen in the market in future? Understand this one? If you want to do the future predictions, SaaS is one of the best tool that we can do. This tool can very accurately, it can predict the future. And these are some of the important things that we can do with the data analysis. And not only that one, so we can develop the apps, applications, high performance applications. There are certain mobile applications which use SaaS for the data analysis. If you are well aware of the cricket, if you are following the cricket, there are some websites like Crick Info, Crick Buzz. All these websites, they use SaaS for the cricketing data analysis. Batsmen, like economy, like strike rate, what are the strengths of a batsman, what are the weaknesses of the batsman. We can predict a lot. And nowadays we are quoting on those Hawkeye visuals and all, high resolution graphs and all. And all those graphs we can get through SaaS. These are some of the important applications we have in SaaS. Understand this one? And after that, and we already know that SaaS has got 4 important functionalities. Those are data access, management, analysis, and then finally by reporting. And after that, the next important thing is SaaS is called as a multi-vendor architecture. What do you mean by multi-vendor architecture? Say for example, I'm using a laptop. In my laptop, I'm using, say for example, Windows 7 operating system. In this Windows 7 operating system, I installed SaaS software. In the SaaS software, I have written a program. Harika? Harika? Okay. I installed SaaS software. In the SaaS software, now I have written a program. Okay. Now I copied this program to a pen drive, a USB stick, and I have given this USB stick to you. Now, in your laptop, okay, you are using very advanced laptop, and in that you have a Windows 11 operating system. Recently, you bought this one, and in the Windows 11 also, you also install SaaS software. Whatever the program that I have given, you pasted this program in your SaaS software and you executed that program. So whatever the program that you copied and executed without any compatibility issues, without any program, without any problem, whatever the program that you have given, that SaaS program will be get executed in our system. So that means what you can understand here, even though you have a different operating systems, different versions, it is not a barrier and it is not a something like, it is not going to stop to execute the SaaS program. So that means we can develop the program in one operating system or one version. You can execute the same program in a different version. Because of this flexibility, whoever wants to use the SaaS, they will have some kind of flexibility. They can choose whatever the operating system they want to, they can choose. If they couldn't able to buy a new laptop, yes, they can use the old one. So since there is no such kind of operating system issues, so people show a lot of interest to use SaaS. And say, for example, I'm using Windows operating system. Windows operating system, and because I like flexibility and the ease of use of this operating system. But in my laptop, I have Windows operating system. In the operating system, I have a SaaS software. Now I have written the program. Now I have given the same program to you, but in your program, you are using Unix operating system, or maybe you are using Linux operating system. You like security very much. You are a very security free guy, and you are using Linux or Unix because Linux Unix is going to give so much of security for your data. So if I develop a program in Windows operating system, you can execute the same program by making small changes in the commands, or you can use the same program in Unix or Linux operating system. That means there are not going to be any compatibility issues if you change even the operating system also. Not only different versions, entirely you can use different operating systems. So that is one of the major flexibilities with the SaaS. And not only that one, I'm using pretty old laptop and I'm using very low configuration. Say for example, I'm using only, say for example, i3 processor or something. I'm using only 256 GB hard disk, and I'm using say for only 4 GB RAM. But in that I installed SaaS software. Now in the SaaS software, I have written a program. And I had given the same program to you, or you are using high-end laptop, you are using maybe i7 or i8, and you are using 16 GB RAM, and you are using 512 SSD or something. You are using very advanced high-end hardware. So in this system, you install SaaS software. Now, whatever the program that I have given to you, and you executed the program here, no problem at all. That program will be getting executed successfully without any problem. That's why SaaS, we can call it a SaaS, has got a cross-platform portability. You know what you mean by portability? Then where we use the keyword portability nowadays? Say for example, I have taken Airtel SIM. Okay, I don't like the services anymore, so I converted that to my SIM, my number into your service provider. So I changed my service provider. What is this concept we call it as a portability, right?
Portability.
Portability. So here also, we can write the program in one operating system or one hardware. We can execute the same program in a different operating system and different hardware. We have that cross-platform portability. So that's why people show a lot of interest to use SaaS because it is not a strict rule that you have to use only this hardware or this operating system. We do not have such kind of any restrictions. So obviously, people will show a lot of interest to use SaaS. But there are some other analysis tools. Those tools will work with only some kind of operating systems and some kind of hardware configuration. So if you do not have that one, it won't work. In that way, SaaS is very flexible. It has got so much of upper hand when you compare it with other analysis tools. That's why SaaS is called as a multi-vendor architecture. Understand this one? And the next concept that we have is multi-database architecture. What do you mean by multi-database architecture? We have already seen from where we can get the data into SaaS. We have seen how to get the data from a text file into SaaS, isn't it? And we have seen how to get the data when the data present in Excel sheet. We have seen already how to get the data when the data is present in a CSV file. And in today's class, we have seen how to get the data when the data is present in MS Access file. Or maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we are going to see how to get the data when the data is present in any database. There are around 50 commercially available databases outside in the market. You can name any database. SaaS can easily connect to the database and it can get the data. So for example, Oracle is one of the database. Most of the companies very widely use this one. Or some companies use SQL plus database. Or some companies may use DB2 database. And some companies may use Teradata. And some companies use Sybase. And some companies use Informix. You name any data that is available right now in the market. Say, for example, in clinical trials, we use a database called Rave, and we use a database called Clinical Oracle, and we use a database called eClinical Suite. We name any database that is available right now in the market. SaaS can easily connect to the database, can easily get the data into SaaS. This is one of the major strengths and advantages for SaaS that what we have. But other tools are not so flexible to get the data. Since the SaaS is so flexible, and we call SaaS as a multi-database architecture. Maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I will show you how to write a program to extract data from a database into SaaS. Understand this one? This is about multi-vendor architecture and a multi-database architecture. Could you able to follow what I'm saying? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you guys have any doubts so far?
Yes,
I have doubt, sir. Sir, I have doubt. In that
Yes, Pramit.
MS Access file, I need a syntax, sir, because I have confusion about MS Access file.
How to write the syntax for MS Access file? Tell me one more time.
Proc
Proc?
import table.
What? Table is equal to. What is the table you want to import? Because in MS Access file, the data will be present in table. Okay. Then what we should write after that one?
That
Out
is
is
only
equal to data set. Table is the table which is present in MS Access file. Out is equal to the data set name you want to have. And then what we should write? DBMS is equal to access. If you have already data set in that library, you should write the replace option. And then what we should do? Now we should write database is equal to, within the quotations, you should write the path. But when writing the path should be dot mdb. And finally keep a semicolon, you should write the run. This is the syntax for MS Access file import. Understand?
Okay.
Anybody, any doubts?
Sir, can we extract information from PPTs?
No, you can't do that. From PPTs and PDF, you can't do.
Sir, while writing a program, sir, in editor window, suddenly keys window is opening, sir, and it was not closing for a while, sir.
Keys window is opening because if you are clicking on the F9 button, keys window will be get open. F9.
F9, okay, sir.
This is the one you are getting, right?
Yes, sir. Every time while I'm doing some import, some keywords import or something I'm doing, it was opening the keys window automatically. It was opening, sir.
This one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you open like this one, you can give a on this keys window, give a right click, close.
Okay, okay, sir.
You might have touching on the F9 button. If you click on the F9, automatically the keys button will be get open.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Anybody? Any doubt?
Sir, words size increase చేయాలంటే
I will tell you tomorrow. I will start that one. Anyway, since you asked me, go to tools, go to options, go to enhance data. Here we are going to have any size. Whatever the size you want to, you can tell. Anyway, I will help you. I will explain everything. You should go to tools, options, enhance data. And here we have the size. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I will tell you. No need to worry. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Why are we not checking our output in the output window?
Output window, anyway, again, I'm going to explain all the windows in tomorrow's class. In the output window, if your program contains printable result, that print will come into output window. We are not writing any program to print. Why we are writing all these programs? To create a data set. Okay?
Okay, sir.
After doing the analysis, if you want to have analysis report, then we will write a program. That analysis report will come into output window.
Okay, sir.
I will show that one in tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Sir, .mdb is a file extension, no, sir?
For MS Access file.
So can we, why are we not writing access there? I mean to
That
say,
is the-
actually,
that is the name, what do you mean by MS Access file? MS Access file is advanced than Excel sheet, but unfortunately, it is not a complete database. We call it as a semi-database. This is a database. The extension is going to be different from what you call DBMS.
okay, sir.
Understand?
Yes, sir. Sir, one more thing, and in proc import, while importing file, we don't have the option to input the variables.
You no need to write input. By default, SAS can understand. So you no need to write input at all. So SAS will scan that Excel sheet. The first row will come as a variable name.
No, if I have to include any other variable other than the already included variables.
Very good. That is a good question. But if you want to do that one, you cannot do that in the proc step. If you want to create a new variable, or if you want to do any modifications in the variable, you can do only in the data step. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, got it, sir.
So that is called data management. We will do that one later.
Okay, sir.
Mock import only can import Excel sheet. But if you want to make any changes in that, we need to write a data step.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, can you please tell us how to use this remote desktop connection and access files for practice?
I'm going to give a quick one since you asked asking for a couple of days. I thought of explaining all the remote desktop once we have completed the introductory part. But since you asked me, could you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Whenever you want to practice in the remote desktop, you know what we should do? First, we should go to on our desktop. Now, you know, here, can you see? Here we have a search button here, search column.
Yes, sir.
We should give a keyword called remote remote. When you give the remote keyword, now we'll have an application like this one. Can you see remote desktop connection?
Yes, sir.
You should click on this one. Now, when you click on this one, it will show you in a dialog box like this one. Now, the stances might have provided you a computer name, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Did they give you a computer name?
Yes, sir. Username and password.
Also, they have also given the username. You should give your username stances backward slash. You might have got SAS some number, right?
Yes, sir.
And then, you know what we should do? Now we should click on the connect button. Generally, I'll show you one more time. It will ask you for the password. I checked for the remember my password. That's why it is not asking the password. But in the real time, when I click on the connect button, it will ask you the password. When you give the password and click on the enter button, once it has been connected, you will get a window like this one, remote desktop connection. Now we should click on the yes, and then it will take you to the remote desktop. This is the window that you are going to get it. Okay?
Yes.
Now,
Sir.
this desktop, if you go to the start, can you see here we have a start button?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
in the start button, if you give a SAS keyword here, SAS, now we can see an option called SAS 9.4 English. Now, if you click on this one, SAS software will get open. Okay, this is how we should access or how we can open SAS software. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, then, if you want to access my notes, if you want to access data, or if you want to access any other material, go to start, go to computer. If you click on the computer, we have only one drive here, SAS material Z drive. It will take you to Z drive. Now we should click on the Z drive. Now, if you click on the Z drive, now we are going to have so many folders like this one. Now we have a source data. This is the folder where we have some data to practice. Source data. Here we have a CSV folder, text, all the text files folder, Excel, and we have an MS Access, and we have already created data sets. So in the CSV, we can find so many CSV files. In the same way, in Excel folder, we can find so many Excel files. And in the text file folder, now we can find some text file. So this is the source data for practice. And after that, if you go to the notes folder here, if you click on the notes, and here we have all the faculty who worked in the past and now right now who are working now, we have their own material. Now here, my materials, investor notes. If you click on this one, it will take you to other folders. Here we have, Srini's base and advanced SAS. If we click on this folder, now we are going to have SAS notes, books, data for practice again, and then we have macros for advanced SAS, and we are going to have a tasks for the next topic. We are going to have tasks for each and every topic. If you go to the SAS notes, here you can find all the topics. Right now, we are into the history and basics. Each topic wise, I have given the notes. If you go over here, and this is we can find an MS Access file. We have a Word document, all the notes. Today's class I told you where and all we can use SAS in all the 21 different domains. And then I told you we use SAS for business intelligence, customer intelligence, financial intelligence, and fraud management, risk management, future predictions and all. And then I told you we had discussed about the little bit history of SAS, and then we discussed that SAS is called a multi-vendor architecture. You see, and we have a information about the SaaS is called multi-database architecture. And I will explain how to read my notes and how to use my notes in the next. So each topic wise, we can find the notes. I will go back again. In future, if you want to have any extra information, if you want to read any books, I have given few reference books here. So here, all these are very important international reference books. If you want, you can go through these. I had given around 50 books, and if you want, I can apply some more books. You can use this as a reference in future. And then we are going to have a task also here. I'm going back again. In future, if you are coming into the clinical side, we have a clinical course here. And we have, in some parts we are going to have interview questions and old resumes and all. I will tell you later how to access all those. And this is how we can access my notes. And in the same way, different faculties has got different materials, and you can access those also. You can trust. And yes, here also we are going to have so many interview questions, and from different types of companies, we have interview questions here. The same way, you are going to have any resumes, banking data projects, clinical projects, tasks, materials, my own material, other materials. We are going to have so much of information. So for the time being, and of course, I'm going to tell you again one more time how to access this one. But if you want to practice, go to the source data, and you can get the Excel sheets, CSV files, and text files also. But if you want to open the SaaS software, what should I do? Go to Start, and you should give a SaaS keyword here. As soon as you give a SaaS keyword, it will show you SaaS 9.4 English. If you click on this one, it will open the SaaS software. Now we can practice here. Understand this one? This is how we can practice. But if we have our own laptop, I will strongly recommend you get SaaS software in our own system so that we install SaaS software for your personal usage. Because sometimes a server may not work, because if you want to use if you want to use Kansas server, you should have a Wi-Fi. You should contain a Wi-Fi, and you should have power supply, and the Kansas also should have a power supply. There are going to be so many obligations. I strongly recommend you install SaaS software in your laptop so that I'll tell you later, how to download the data from different websites. What are the websites that we have to get them, what you call raw data sets to work to practice, so that you can use that.
If we ask the admins, then will they guide us to how to install SaaS software?
Yes, sir. Initially they are going to send you a Google Drive link. You should download the SaaS 9.4 software. Then you should install TeamViewer also. And if you send the TeamViewer credentials to them, they're going to do it for free for you.
Okay, so we have to ask them. Okay.
And ask them to send the link. They will send you the link. And first you should download the SaaS 9.4. It will take, if you have a good Wi-Fi connection, it will take 1 or 2 hours to get download. And once you have downloaded, you can ask them to get installed online through TeamViewer.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anybody any doubts?
Sir, I have installed the SaaS software, but where I can find the materials, sir?
So unfortunately, you cannot download any data or notes from the server. You can work only in the server. Okay? Chances is providing you only hard material, hard notes, but they won't provide you any soft copy. I will tell you how to access certain free data sets or Excel data in online. Maybe tomorrow's class I will let you know how to do it. Okay? So that you can download some Excel sheets and CSV file you can use for practice. Anybody?
Yes, so again, tomorrow or in the coming days, you will guide us now on how to connect to remote desktop and other steps again.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
I think some of you might not get the SaaS, remote desktop, right? You need to get registered for that one to get a remote desktop connection. Please register yourself so that they're going to send you credentials. Okay? Okay then. See you tomorrow's class.